If required, we can do the both online and offline sessions. If we are okay with online, we can do one day online or one day offline. Or if you feel this is not working online, then we will do it on offline only. This is to test it out. Okay, don't worry. I am also recording this session and I will share this also once we finish this today's training. I think three people joined. Correct? Yes, three people joined. Let's see if we can share this uh, to share them as well in that mail. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. So this is what typically R Studio looks like. I hope everybody has installed R Studio. Basically, R Studio is a editor which can be which makes your programming environment is very easy. Uh, Actually, what happened? If you see R, I will also open the R console. Before starting R, I just wanted to recap what was discussed yesterday. So yesterday we discussed about the data science applications and why all of the sudden data science is very high. We also discussed some of the reasons behind it, and we also discussed the flow of the data science, uh, where we discussed how data knowledge action can works in the real time, and the aim of the data and data science should be we should do the we should basically find the action from the data with our knowledge. And we also discussed various roles and responsibilities in the data science, and we also discussed the various stages in the data science, like what are the different stages in the data science. Like we'll start with the
ఏంటమ్మా
descriptive statistics, diagnostic statistics.
ఆ?
Okay, we started descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, prescriptive. Also, we discussed. After that, we discussed what is the typical percentage of the work expected. Most people feel that most of the time will taken by the modeling, but through our experience, I know it's not the modeling approach. The most of the time will taken by the data preparation. Then also we have seen the various steps in the each process. From it in data science project, from understanding business problem, converting the business problem to data problem, then data cleaning, what we'll do then the data cleaning, data pre-processing, data modeling, and finally we also discussed about implementation. I hope everybody has gone through that PDF, correct? Hello? Yeah, now you should answer. I hope everybody has
Yes,
gone through that,
yes.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Anybody has any doubts? If nobody has no doubts, I think
Nothing from my end.
nothing. Na? So it's more of understanding that it's more generalized thing, nothing specific. It's mostly give the you know what is it called? Mostly give the feel of the data science. Okay. Today, what we will do is, and also I also clearly told yesterday, like data science required multiple skill sets, like computer, like we need multiple skills to finish the data science. Like we need a computer science background people, we need statistics background, we need domain, and we also need storytelling and visualization people. Correct. So even data science has multiple. We already discussed it. It has couple of big roles. One is the architecting point. Second one is the data engineers or data modeling guys, where they need to work with some of the softwares and get inside out of the data. Okay, there are lot of tools available in the market today, but as this era is being open source era, and most of the people are doing most of the people are working with the open source. The advantage with open source is even small companies can also offer can also start their data science initiatives by using open source software. That's the reason we are focusing this complete time using the open source software called R. Okay. There is one more open source program is there, that's called open source. Tool is there, that's the Python. And R and Python is more or less these two are like very well used open source data science software today in the market. But R is seen to be like if somebody doesn't have the much programming background, if somebody really wanted to get into the data science, I think R is very useful. I am not going speed, correct? Hello?
No, no, it
No,
is
no.
fine.
If you feel that I am going too much speed, please let me know. Okay. So coming back our point, I think both R and Python are really, very well open source software today in the market. Uh, but yes, if you talk about what is the major, if somebody people will generally ask what is the difference between R and Python. If you ask me as a practitioner point of view or application point of view, both are same. I mean, whatever instrument it is, whatever tool it is, basically we will use these two, R and Python to get the modeling or to get some kind of results from the data. But when it comes to learning perspective, if somebody is coming from completely non-technical background and they don't have much programming background, I think R is essentially R is I think we should start with R, because R is very simple, because it's like more of a programmer, it's more of a academician. R is basically created with academicians, academics for their research initially. So it is like technically it is less complex than Python. But Python has some added advantage at at a deep extreme applications like deep learning, language translation, those kind of things. If time permits, we will also discuss some basics about the Python, and let's see some of the packages which can be used for the for advanced deep learning application. But as such, I think both R and Python really doing well. But recently, people also developed some algorithms where you can call Python even within the R, and you can do the same thing from the R. So I think if you, as you guys are, being, starters in this journey, I think R is very good for you. I think that's the reason I suggest the R. So let's start with the R, and we once we get some kind of familiarity, with all this kind of solution, and then we'll see the Python also. But the Python is seen more of deployment, and it's more of deployment skills. Uh, it has some of the compared. The only difference I can see between R and Python, Python can be used more at the deployment stage. Deployment stage means if somebody wants to integrate the solution with their infrastructure, their Python seem to be most sophisticated than R. But there are some tools available even R, through R also we can do some kind of integration. So that's the high level difference. The summary, you can say that R is a very simple language to start off, and it's more for modeling perspective, and Python is both modeling and deployment perspective. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, clear. Give me 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
My boss is calling. I will put you on myself in mute, and then I will unmute it once again. Just 1 minute. Yeah, please. ఆయన కార్తీక్ ఎందుకు కాల్ చేస్తున్నారు? Yeah, sorry. So that's the difference between R and Python. But if you ask me, both are same and both are really doing well. And R and Python has very good communities. If you go and ask any problem, there are a hell lot of people to help you out. And yeah, that's about R. So basically, this is like please you. I think are you able to see my screen? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is how R Studio looks like. Basically, if you see R, general R, I mean, this is called R console. One minute. This is what called R console. This is how console looks like, where we can do the programming from here also. This is what originally R. This is called R console. So if you do a program in R console, you will get output and everything in this window. So it's very difficult to see. That's the reason, the people developed a environment called R Studio. Okay. So if you see, this is what R Studio looks like. This is called this has four type of windows. If you see these four windows, and this is called a programming window. This is like Explorer window. This is all the files. What is this called? This is basically called what window? You can see the file. It's very nice way of seeing. You can see everything in one window. That's the reason R Studio is developed. Okay. This is what R looks like. Clear?
Hello.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Can you ask everyone else to mute themselves? There's lots of disturbance here.
Yeah. Please. I cannot make a wait. Where is it? Okay. Yes, everybody is muted. Now it's okay. Yeah. Mm, yeah. So this is what how R Studio looks like. Basically, let's start the R. Basically, R is a statistical software. R is statistical software means it default itself to all kind of mathematical. You know, uh, it can also do all. R is a statistical software. That means it can do all kind of mathematical operations. Like if you go here in the console, if you type, let's say 1 plus 1, uh, it will give 2. So that's where you can see all the output. You can see the down. See, this is called the programming window. This is the output window. This is like typical, some kind of file manager kind of window. This is like data window. Um, yeah. Uh, it can do a lot of math, and I'm wait, wait. 1 moment. I wanted to. Yeah, I just want to make this clear. So what I'm trying to do is, as being statistical software, and the default itself, R can do a lot of basic mathematics, like arithmetic operation, like 1 plus 1, all the basic maths it can do. If I do like this also, it can do. You just like, so it will give like 105, and you know as being mathematical software, as being as it can handle the mathematics, it can also understand the Bodemus, Bodemus principle, no? So by using that also, it will find the all the solution. So the takeout from this snippet is basically, as the default itself, R can do all kind of basic mathematics, like maybe addition, subtraction, multiplication, all the principles of mathematics can be easily incorporated in the R software. Okay, so that means R is a math software. R can do a lot of basic mathematics as well also. Okay, Before getting into this, I just wanted to understand. Please unmute yourself and answer this question. I just wanted to understand how many actually knows the programming. Mm, any programming idea? Any programming? You have some programming idea. Anybody has any programming idea? Is there anyone without any programming? Or you can type it also in that messenger. That's not a problem. Mm.
Is it okay if you see C++ also have anyone knowledge on that? Any programming language knowledge?
Okay, then leave it. See, basically, any programming, there will be the structure of any programming is basically there is a variables is there. We need to assign the data to the variables. There will be some functions. There will be some operations, arithmetic operation like that. Anyway, we won't get into too much into the programming. Basically, today we will get some kind of familiarity with the R. Then what we can do is we will discuss some kind of some statistical or data science application, and we'll do it in the practical. I think as and when you are doing this practice now, you will get all the code very easily. Don't worry about too much about. See, basically, like any other software, assigning there will be in any other software, any other programming language also. There kind of two types of data available. One is the numeric data and the characteristic data. The numeric data is basically the numbers. Okay, if you want to like 10, 20, 30, 40, all the numbers referred as numeric data, and characteristic string is basically deals with the alphabets, like our name is like string data, your grade is string data. So this kind of data is referred as string data or character type of data. Otherwise, what is your age or how many marks you have, this kind of data is called the numeric data. Any software you take, these are the two standard data types people will talk about. One is the numeric data, and second one is the character data. So numeric data is basically to store the numbers, to store the numerics into some variable. Characteristic data is basically to store the characters or letters in the to store the data. Okay, let's see how we will do the same thing in R. So let's say if I want to see, let's say there are two types of variable. If I want to assign, let's say variable 5 into variable, like it's very easy, x equal to 5. That means what will x contain is the value of 5. So as being 5 is number, what is the type of x we can expect? The type of x should be here. Let's see what is the type of x. So type of x is basically class. Confusing with Python and R.
First, you have to run x equal to 5. Then yeah, now you got.
See, so it's the numeric. So what I'm trying to say, all the numbers will be treated as numeric type in the R. Okay. So and this is what we can assign the data equal to symbol. And some people also do like this assignment like this also. Sorry, like this kind of some people also will assign like this. This also kind of assignment operator, whether equal to, whether this symbol is basically to assign some numeric value into the one variable x. So whenever I assign any of the numeric variable, what is the type of, what is the class of that variable? Numeric. This is very important in the after some time we always need to refer what kind of variable. Based on the variable we will do lot of transformation. The type of the data is very important, whether numeric data, whether character data, because tomorrow, next week, we'll discuss about the types of the data, measurement of the scale. If you treat measurement of the data is correctly, then you will get the very good results. Sometimes the people will like if let's say age, what is your gender? Let's say male equal to 1, female equal to. If you consider male equal to 1, female equal to as a numerical data, then what kind of relation it will come? We cannot say that females are equal to 2 into male. There actually the scale is only for scale is only for coding purpose. Even though it is numeric, we cannot treat that numeric as the numerics. So there we need to treat them as the factors. There we need to treat them as the categories. So that's the reason to understanding the data type is very important. So let's see the some characteristic kind of data. Uh, let's say let's say y equal to data and try this. So same, I told you that we can assign like this and like this. So I'm assigning y equal to data. So what could be the type of the data we can expect here? The type of the data should be here the character. I hope you understand it. So the summary, the takeout from the snippet is basically the variable type is very important in the modeling. So basically, any standard software has couple of couple of variable types. One is the numeric variable, and second one is the characteristic type of data. So numeric data type is basically concerned with the numbers. So it will store, it will assign, it will do the manipulations with the numbers. So the type data should be number, and any data which is in the terms of it is in forms of characters or strings is referred as a character. Okay. Like we can also assign the data into a variable, not into single. Let's say if you so now you need to tell me this variable. So this variable is 17. So what we are trying to do, we can also combination of the alphabet. The variable should be anything. It's not only simple X. You can assign a value to any one of the variable, like this variable. If you see if you type this variable, how much it will come? Right? Spelling mistakes is very important. Huh? This variable, okay. THIS, oh, insert. What is this key in again? Insert, huh? Yeah, now it will come. So, and what is the type of this variable? What could be the class or type? Type is in Python. I think class of this variable should be what? I'm sure it should be. It should be. It should be numeric. Should be numeric. Let's say CONTRY country equal. But whenever we are assigning string data, we need to give the alphabet IN DIA. Then let's say what is the class of country? It should be. It should be character. So let's say my grade equal to, let's say, A. Then what should be the class of the grade? Should be character. This is very important because tomorrow when we are doing the modeling, we need to differentiate which one is the character variable, which one is the numeric variable, how to handle the character variable, how to handle the numeric variable. So whenever you want to see type of any variable or anything, what is the keyword we need to use? The keyword is basically class. Okay, here I will write here. So class is the keyword used to check the variable type. There will be two major variable types. One is numeric and other is character. The character. And by the way, this hash is the comment line in the R. Okay. Now I will just unmute and I will explain once again and listen it. Okay. Anybody has any doubt? Let me. I am unmute. let's unmute and ask if you have any question. We'll go very slowly. Don't worry. So anybody has any questions?
Yeah, I have some.
Yeah,
So
Sushma.
yeah, this is Sushma. So in traditional way in C or Java, first we will define that variable type and then only you will assign some value to it. But in
Yeah,
R, is it different? Like first
yeah,
you are assigning value directly.
correct, correct. See,
Sorry?
somebody, yeah, like somebody. Yeah, yeah, that's the interesting, observation. Yes. So yeah, whatever you assign, so the particular variable type will be assigned. But we need to. So that's what we need to check it. You don't need to, initialize it. Sorry, you don't need to define it. So if you are assigning, let's say, numeric meta, that it will take as a default. It will convert into the numeric. If you are assigning the string, it will be the converting into the class. Yes, you can straight away you can
Okay.
assign it. You don't need to define it. It's not like typical software like C and Java. Yeah.
Okay. One more thing is, are there only two types of data types like
No,
numeric
no,
and character? Are there not any string or boolean?
no. I mean, basically, character is the part of string. Is the see, character can concern with both. Boolean is there, 1 and 0, true and false. Yeah, that is also there. Yes, it's there. I will basically, if you yeah, wait, I will show. They are. Let's say it's there in the down. Mm, Boolean operators. 1 minute, 1 minute. I have to. But there are, yes, we can, it will give the true or false. Like I say, Boolean. Where is it? Boolean operators. Balakartik, you have anything in the Boolean run? Code. Balakartik.
Hello.
In anything on Boolean, you can find the true or false. If x equal to 5, is my code on that.
Hello.
Yeah, 1 minute. I have to close all these. Give me 1 minute time. I will. What happened to R Studio? Yeah, but yeah, Boolean operators are there. Let's say if you store x equal to 5, you can search for if x equal to 5, then it will give the 0 and 1. Yeah, Boolean is there. Let's say is dot null, for example. Let's say x to the false. You see, I asked one question: is x equal to 5? I am asking is x equal to null or is something is there? As being 5, it is giving false. That means all Boolean answer we can do. Sushma, are you there?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean it is there.
Got
I
it.
will I will anyway write that point. I will add that point. But what I'm saying is, basically we can do this. I mean Boolean is there. All whatever logical operations, arithmetic operations, everything whatever we do in other softwares, so everything we can do it here as well. Okay. If you see,
Just
I
to
mean,
give y, sir, just to
uh,
give y equal to true, then and check what is the class of y, then you
why
will
should be
get
numeric?
y equal to true.
Oh, y equal to true. Then it should be Boolean. Um,
Just run.
Not required this one. No, it will give error.
Should come.
No, no.
No.
I will write that one. I think let's say true is basically will take as a string. I think. No, all the
Otherwise,
character.
Otherwise, store is dot null x equal to in some other variable.
No, that's
Then
already done. That's already done. Is dot null is basically given. See, Boolean operator is basically it will test some condition, and based on the result, it will give whether it's a false or true, 1 or 0 kind of application. Okay, it's there. It's there. So once we finish this complete script, now then we'll understand this thing. Okay. Now, let me go and explain. So yeah. Now, basically, we can also store a sequence also in the sequence of the data also. Let's say it's equal to 1 2 3. I mean, it's not only one data, we can also sequence of the data, and we can also type x equal to numeric. See, basically in any software there will be three types of data types. One is the lists, second one is the matrix, third one is the data frame. Okay, first let me explain the concept, then we probably will go into the this thing. What is the list? List is basically a one-dimensional array where it can store all kind of variables like x equal to c123. Basically, this is called a list. So what it is doing, it is just adding a one-dimensional data where it is storing the 1 2 3 as the vector. List is nothing but vector. If you know the vector, it's basically one-dimensional thing. And matrix, if you see, what is the matrix? Matrix is a two-dimensional thing. But in the matrix, even though it is two-dimensional thing, we can only store similar kind of data. That means either the matrix could be with the similar kind of numbers. We cannot store different kind of data types. That means we cannot in the matrix we cannot store some variables as see some rows as numbers and some rows as characteristics. Correct. And there is one more. The most frequently used data type is the data frame. Okay, data frame. What data frame is? Data frame is like Excel kind of thing where you can store where it is a two-dimensional thing where you can store multiple data types of the variable. That means you can store string data as well as numeric data into the data frame. Okay. If you see now I will show how we can do it. So net summary is basically we need to understand three types of thing. One is the list. List is basically a vector kind of thing where you can say one-dimensional data with similar kind of data type. And second one is the matrix. Matrix you are familiar. It is a two-dimensional. We have rows and columns. But in the rows and columns, either you can do numeric data or you can read the either numeric data or characteristic data. You cannot read multiple data types of the data. That's the reason it's called matrix. There is the very popular and most oftenly used data structure is called data frame. What data frame is? Data frame is also two-dimensional data, two-dimensional data structure where we can read multiple types of data. Multiple types of data means you can read either numeric data, you can read or character data, you can read the both data. In the most of the real-time situation, we'll get the data with mixed type. That's the reason mostly we'll use the data frames. Clear? Any doubts? Can anyone repeat what I told? Hello?
Shall I do it?
Yeah, do it because it's very important.
Okay, there are three types. One is normal sequence.
Yes.
The other one is matrix, and the last one is data frame.
What is the difference between
So
data
in
frame
sequence,
and
yeah, in sequence we can have it is a one-dimensional one, and you can have either numeric or character.
Yeah.
In matrix, it is a two-dimensional one. You can either have numeric or character. But in data frame, though it is two-dimensional, you can have both of them. That is numeric and character.
Yeah, where we can read the multiple data. Now one more thing is coming into the recent thing. Tensor. You must also heard about TensorFlow, Google TensorFlow. It is a 3D. It has along with it will also do the 3D, 4D, 5D, 10D tensors. Tensor is basically more than two-dimensional data. That's the reason all the deep learning applications working with the TensorFlow that we will discuss this later. I don't want to make you confusion. As of now, we need to focus more on the data frames. See, once the data, that's the reason. If the data frame can read the multiple type of data type, so it can read whether it is only the numbers. It can also read. It can only the characters. It can read the both. That's the reason most of the data frames, most of the data types, we will define as the data frames. Clear? Data frame is very important. So whatever data we read, it will store as the data frame in the R. Okay. So whenever something stored in the data frame, what we can expect? We can expect there should be some mixed kind of data types. We can see some of the variable could be numeric, some of the variable should be character or string. If something is stored as a list, what we can expect? It is a one-dimensional where it can have only the one kind of. If something is saved as matrix, it is like a two-dimensional where all the dimensions should be in the same type. It is very important. I hope everyone is clear on this now, because the Zoom connection is going to finish in the 10 minutes. I will share one more thing. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you show one example for matrix and
I will
data?
show. I have before because we have that in the next two things. Now this is going to disconnect. I will send one more thing. Okay.